Hello, everybody, and welcome in to the Penny Bloom podcast. Today, we continue our comic book movie journey through film with Big Hero 6. It was released on November 7th, 2014, written for the screen by Daniel Gerson, Robert Baird, and Jordan Roberts, directed by Don Hall and Chris Williams. I'm Colton Robertson. I'm joined by Joseph George. What's up, homie?
Oh, what up, what up? Always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it's always a pleasure to have you. And we've got a first viewing on the docket for you today, and one
Ah,
that when I found out it was a first viewing, I was so very excited for
oh,
because this movie is so ridiculously up your alley. It's not even funny. So it was such a pleasure to be able to be like, oh yeah, you're gonna fucking watch this one.
what I don't understand is how my parents didn't catch wind of this movie in 2014 and be like, here you go. Go ahead and don't come out of your cave for the next 500 years. Because if I
Yeah.
was, maybe that's why. If I was given this movie at 14, I mean, it might
It's
have been
also
my the next Spider-Man, I might have just
right.
ripped this
It's
one to
also an
shreds.
interesting era in our life, specifically for Disney animation or Pixar animation.
Hmm.
There's a really good chance that at 14 you weren't exactly intrigued by the new Disney animated film. Um,
Yeah.
you've kind of evolved, not beyond that, but you're too old
I
for that at
thought
14.
I was beyond
Yeah,
it.
exactly,
Yes.
exactly. You eventually come back around. But at 14, it's like Pixar, Disney animation. No, I don't give a fuck. So like, there's a stretch of years there from
Hmm.
like 2013 to 2018, where I didn't see any of the, or 2017, I don't really know, where I didn't see any of the new
Yeah.
Disney animation or Pixar films. I didn't see Moana, I didn't see Coco, I didn't see this. I didn't like.
Yeah, like
I only got
Wreck-It
around to this.
Ralph came out around this time, I
Yeah,
feel like.
yeah,
I didn't see
yeah,
that. Um,
all
Bolt,
sorts of.
I felt like
This might have
wasn't
been the
around.
exception as far as what I had found its way to me.
Hmm,
But part of that is that I had a little brother. I have a little brother who is 10 years younger than me. So
that'll
at
help.
14, yeah,
Hmm.
at 14, I have a 4-year-old brother who wants to watch this stuff. He was a big fan of Big Hero 6, and that found its way to me as well in turn. And how are you feeling? How are you feeling after one viewing, man?
Oh, dude, I didn't know this would be like an all-timer here for me, man.
Yeah.
Like I was coming in and you're like, "Oh, dude, you're gonna like it." And I'm like, "Okay, I'll come in with low, I haven't seen it. Don't want to get my hypes up or my expectations too high." But oh, dude, I mean, I was like, I don't know how many times I even cried. I lost count. If I had to guess, probably like 5 or 6 times. Like
Yeah,
good cries too.
solid cries.
And I was like, oh man, like,
They really ripped the rug out from under you there early on, huh?
dude, the freaking, like, I'm already crying whenever he's like giving his little nanobot kind of presentation and everything's just like working out, like he's got the crowd on his side and it's like everything's coming together before the
Mhm.
fire, before his brother actually just explodes. I'm already like crying tears of joy. And then I'm like, wait, what like, what? What? The dude blew up. I'm like, what am I watching, man? I mean,
Yeah.
what? I
That's
mean,
good, man, and it's wild that I was a little wrong. I've been misspeaking about this movie for a couple weeks in anticipation. I've previously said that this is a Pixar movie. It is not. It is Disney animated. Not the same thing.
okay,
Not under the parent company Pixar is basically the only difference.
wow,
Um,
okay.
uh,
So,
yes.
so this technically wouldn't be in the Toy Story universe, the
No, no.
Pixar
There are no cars
universe.
driving around that are sentient, you know? Um,
But that's the
not
thing.
here.
Even in Pixar, the cars in Toy Story aren't sentient, but
No, I like to think that if you like there are humans in the Pixar universe who are like, don't go to Radiator Springs.
you don't want to know what goes on
You
down
don't
there,
want to
man.
fucking go to Radiator
So in
Springs,
this
bro.
universe, it's kind of the blend between Pixar and Marvel. It's not technically Marvel.
Yes,
It's not
yes. No,
technically Pixar. So
no, no, no,
it's,
no, no.
yeah,
No,
this
it's
weird middle
well, and
ground.
Disney animation has a lot under its umbrella. The Little Mermaid, Moana. all the classic Disney animation, Cinderella,
Hmm.
Snow White. Disney
Okay.
princesses are not Pixar princesses.
Yeah,
They are Disney animated. So
that's
like
true.
there is a ton of Disney animation out there. So it's an interesting distinction they make, and I'm assuming because this is also computer generated uh, animation. It's not hand drawn.
Mm-hmm.
It is much more in the vein of what Pixar has done historically. So it is interesting to make that distinction. But regardless, it's just a parent company thing. I've been misspeaking about that. It is Disney animated, not Pixar. And then beyond that, it I also had the misconception that they did not exist within Marvel prior to this movie. That is not true. They made their
Oh,
first appearance in 1998. Um,
really?
Very different version of the team in this movie than is idolized in that comic, but the very bones of them, the idea of them did exist. So wanted to
Okay.
make a few corrections up at the top here. Um,
Okay. Yeah, I was to put Stan Lee in the movie, I was like, okay, like this, could like a new creation and like just to
mhm.
take, I don't know, to take on because I guess I thought it was completely brand new, a brand new creation and to have
I yes, I wanted to tell you more than anything that I had
okay.
misinformed you. I wanted to take responsibility.
Hey, well, this is all good. I mean, I didn't know anything at all about the movie going in. I can't believe it to this point. Still, it is crazy that it did take me this long to watch it. But yeah, now we have an actual cool Fred.
Yes, cool.
Yeah, Fred usually sucks. Every time I hear the name Fred, I'm like, ew. It either reminds
This is
me,
also not the only Marvel movie within the next few weeks that the voice actor there, TJ Miller, will be in a movie for us. He's the bartender in Deadpool, who's like
yeah,
Ryan Reynolds' best friend.
I knew him in
Um,
Deadpool. Is he in something else? Are you about to say another movie?
no, that was it. That
Oh,
was
I
what I
was
was
gonna
talking
say, I'm like, man, I was like, what's the other one? Okay. But yeah, I did that was the one voice I did recognize, pretty like right off the bat. I'm like,
He's
okay,
got a very distinctive voice.
mm-hmm,
Yes.
very much so. Um, but yeah, to make him Stanley's son, and Stan Lee is who's Stan Lee supposed to be? Like, what was that? Do you know, like, if that's supposed to be some classic? No, no, so I don't. It was kind of fun. I don't know. I thought it was really funny, but super small part of the movie. Stanley and Fred. Um, but definitely want to give credit to Hero and Baymax. I mean that this is a duo that I'll remember forever. This is like what a This is like the comfort movie to the max. Now like I love Iron Man because I love to see like I love the tinkering of Tony Stark and like just the engineering side of him. But at the end of the day, like it's not the most comforting movie to watch when you have like I don't know like dealing with weapons manufacturing, terrorist organizations, real life stuff. This is like way better. This is it's so much more comforting. I can put this on at any point at all and I don't cry like this in Iron Man, and I love
No.
Iron Man to death. So yeah, this is just a different
Yeah, different
tier.
different animal here,
Yeah.
to be sure. I uh I've been watching this movie for several years now. I think I was introduced to it around the time it came out. I didn't see it in theaters or anything, but couldn't have been long after that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just kind of floored by how moving it is. Like I love, and again, I texted you. It isn't anything groundbreaking storytelling wise. It is pretty normal, on par
Yeah.
Pixar, Disney animated type storytelling, and that's just they've just found the fucking formula that works over there, and they found a way to retool it and repurpose it in a way that's compelling. You know, like this did win the Oscar for best animated film of that year. So we're not the only ones who liked it. Clearly, the Academy enjoyed it a great deal, and I think it's well deserving of
Yeah.
that. It has a lot of heart. I love
Man,
Baymax, man.
when's the
I
last time
love
we could say
Baymax.
that for on this project? That it that it won an Oscar. Um, would that
Shit.
be Dark Knight? Did that win an Oscar?
I think Heath Ledger won an Oscar for it.
So,
So I think there are Oscar-winning performances, but I don't think any movie we've covered won an Oscar.
wow.
Um, maybe technical aspects of The Dark Knight also, maybe some technical aspects of the Nolan trilogy. Um, but beyond that, I don't know that we
Yeah.
have any Oscar
A
wins in
rare
the project.
Definitely a rare thing to mention at all. To even bring up the Academy were on this project. So that's,
Mhm.
I don't know, very deserving though for this one. Yeah, nothing is crazy. It is, just a kid dealing with loss. And I mean that's basically the entire movie is. I mean, yeah, he's a smart kid. He's going to college, at whatever age he is. I don't know if they did straight up mention it um in the movie.
I wanna say, like, 14, but I
Yeah.
can't remember.
Yeah, dude's basically a young Tony Stark.
Just a
Uh
14-year-old kicking it in San
San
Fransokyo.
Fransokyo. Yeah, how cool is that? What did they give like a thing at the beginning as to why it is San Fransokyo? Cuz in
No.
IMDb they say that it was after an earthquake destroyed San Francisco. The Japanese helped rebuild San Fransokyo with the help of the Americans, and it was a joint venture. So they just used American architecture with Japanese techniques as well, and built San Fransokyo. And I'm like, did I miss an entire section of the movie where
That
the
feels
U.S.
like a
and
headcanon.
I know. And I'm like, so where did this come from? Because it's like, oh, well, maybe if I read the first line a little bit more carefully, this makes a little bit more sense.
Uh,
According to Scott Wantaby, the movie is, oh no, never mind. I thought this was saying an alternate future of the movie. It is set in an alternate future where after the 1906 earthquake, San Francisco was
oh,
rebuilt by Japanese immigrants that
okay,
allow
interesting. So Scott Watanabe, is he
Scott Watanabe.
what's that person got any
He's known for,
relationship to this movie?
yeah, what the art depart he's the art director.
Ah, okay, so part of determining what San Fransokyo looks like.
Okay, so the guy
So
who had to
that's
come up with
pretty
San Francisco, that's
yeah,
his
yeah,
headcanon for the movie. Okay.
yes,
I like
and
that.
that makes sense. I like
Yeah.
that as well. Okay, I can
Um
accept that. Um,
but what a beautiful world. I don't know. This was
gorgeous,
sick. This
gorgeous
was
world building.
yeah, and then like we had like a Stark Expo, but it was,
Mhm.
just not even a big national event. This was just for Hero to get into college or into the school. You just have to impress the professor of the school. Is that
Pretty
all
much.
that dude is just a professor, or he like runs that entire
I took it that he was just a professor. Um,
Okay.
yeah, they don't spend a lot of time on that. Maybe it's like, there's several professors, and if any like, maybe each of them picks,
Yeah, because
like, a
like,
candidate,
does everyone just have their own school? Like this professor, like it seemed that he was kind of the only professor that they had,
Yeah.
sort of thing, and then all the rest were
They
just
didn't
kids.
really elaborate on
Yeah,
anybody
and then the
else.
business guy, for something like that, Freeg,
Yeah.
something like that. He had his own school, or he was opening up his own school. So I'm like, okay, in San Francisco, it's just kind of a common billionaire thing to open up your own school, it seems. But I don't know. I at first I didn't like the twist that it was the professor the whole time. I wanted it to be evil businessman.
Yeah, Cray.
Yeah. Cray. That's just.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. K
K-R-A-I.
R. That's right. I wanted it to be evil Cray. To be the evil businessman behind the mask the whole time, and I'm like,
That is probably one of
no.
the only things that storytelling-wise, the movie could have benefited from the twist coming, like, the explanation that his daughter was lost and, like, all that stuff being the cause of the fire. That doesn't happen prior to them revealing
Mm-hmm.
that he's the guy, right?
No, it happens during. They're watching the like thing happen, the whole
Mhm.
sequence. They learn that the girl died first, and they know that it's his daughter. Yes, they see that happen, and they're like, "Oh my god, it's his daughter that died," or something. And
So
then
he must. So he must be out for revenge
And
because they
then,
learn that he's behind the mask before that kind of explanation, right?
well, because Hero does when the mask is off of him and he's like facing the other way, Hero does think it's still Cree or Cry.
Cray.
Cray. I was wrong twice. Um, Cray. Yeah, he still thought it was Cray at that moment when the mask was off. And then he turned around, revealed that it was the professor, and there was like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
"What? How were you?" Blah blah blah. Oh, they watched the video of it being the daughter, and they were like, "Oh, he was there at the whole time."
So that's why he's doing this. Is that kind of the
Yes,
I
because
couldn't remember the format of the movie. If it was that
yes,
they revealed it was him prior to them explaining it, or if they explained like the backstory and then they revealed it was him. I think they could have benefited a lot from kind of laying a little groundwork for how it like might be Professor Kavanagh before
yeah.
Professor Kavanagh turns around and you're kind of like, what the fuck? You
Yeah,
know?
because I'm like, oh man, they were playing the classic businessman of like, oh,
Mhm.
you didn't say yes. I'm not gonna take no for an answer. I'm gonna steal everything and do what I was gonna do in the first place. And then it's like, oh no, he's actually pretty chill, the whole time, but he was really evil and lurking at the beginning. He had the one
Well,
nanobot walking away at the beginning, and it's like, oh
they
yeah,
do
that's right.
still
Tink, flings it
and that
back.
that is definitely a red herring for him being the type of evil that is stealing someone else's technology
Yeah.
and, uh, utilizing it for personal gain. He is still evil though, because he went forward with this test when it wasn't up to snuff,
That's
and it caused
true.
the death. That's why
You
that's
know?
why Professor Kavanaugh's doing it, is that he wants to get back at Cray and the way that he can do that. Like, the microbots almost provided
Oh
him a
shit.
way to do it.
Yeah.
He was like, "Oh, I can get his ass
So
now."
they actually
Uh,
worked together the whole time.
they were before that, yes.
Like, so they both built a nano. He was the money behind it. The professor was like, "Oh, I basically know how he did this. Let's steal his idea." They built the nanobots together, and then, well, no, because it was just like teleportation that killed his daughter. It was like that was just a random side
Yeah,
project that business dude was working on, and
yeah,
then
exactly.
his daughter just so happened to be
Well,
the
I think Kavanaugh was also helping him with that project. Um,
okay.
I
Okay.
think that's how they were kinda working together. Because it seems that, like, they went straight from that fucking expo down into the basement to run that test. Am I wrong?
In the basement to run
Like, where do when does this event take place that, like
the daughter his daughter
yeah,
dying.
is that prior to this entire movie?
No. Oh.
Or is that
Oh.
what causes the explosion in the basement? Or that what causes the explosion of the building? No, because they shut it down. They
I'd
shut it
assume
down in the
that's what
campus.
started the beef between businessman and professor. Was
Yeah.
my daughter died. Oh, that could have been before cuz she was in cryo sleep the whole time. Yeah, how long when did that happen? That's a good question. I just kind of
Yeah, I'm
took
like
it to happen like after his and I'm still kind of iffy on names right now. Hero and Baymax are the only ones I have down for
yeah.
sure.
You got
Um, I
Tadashi and
literally am fresh off, hours off of this, so
yeah.
very very fresh. But when his brother blew up, right?
Yeah,
I
Tadashi.
took this portal explosion to happen post brother dying and before the present of the movie. So,
Gotcha.
but I guess I didn't think that it could have just happened anytime.
Because
Yeah.
I mean, like, he clearly has an animosity towards Cray at the
Already,
beginning of the
yes.
movie.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, don't
But
trust this guy. I wouldn't trust him
that
with
could literally
anything."
just be because
Huh.
he wouldn't trust him with anything, But, like, it probably did happen prior to this movie, but and then the microbots presented an opportunity for him to execute on revenge is probably more
Ooh.
likely. Um,
So he faked his death. Yeah, we never
mhm,
really kind of got that explanation as to how he blew up an entire building and just the nanobots survived and he got out, or whatever. Oh no, it is explained. He used the nanobots to protect himself in the little ball, but yeah, he just I guess was already like fuck my student, fuck your brother. I'm gonna let him blow up. Like, did he know, or was it just like
I don't
I'm
think he knew that. I think he underestimated how good Tadashi was. Like, the
so?
fact that Tadashi would be willing to sprint into a burning building to save him was
Mm-hmm.
kinda lost on him. I don't like, that's what's interesting is that Kavanagh, the motivations of the villain are a little muddied, I think. Like, revealing it's Kavanagh doesn't really explain why he's always trying to take out the kids.
Yeah,
I don't think,
yeah,
like, it's like, well, I get the, like, well, I'll have my revenge by any means, but why not just run away every time they try to get you, instead of fighting them, the children? Um,
yeah.
and that's the thing is that, like, that literal aspect of, and I'm treating it's still very, very good. I just think that Kavanagh isn't as evil as the villain character in this movie is made out to be. Um,
I
he wants
see.
his revenge, and that I can understand. This dude sacrificed his daughter for an experiment that he knew wasn't gonna work, you know?
That's true. To even let your to even like be like, yeah, first human subject, let's do it. And I don't know, maybe not. It did seem that like it's been done before. She was just
Yeah,
super
like
confident. Um,
one of the scientists was like, "Hey, we got a little problem here," and he's like, "Well, that's well within the margins. We're good. Go, go, go." It's like, well, it doesn't seem well within the
mm,
margins. I don't think he would have alerted you if it was well within the margins.
mm-mm.
Um,
No,
me
that
think,
is the problem with the business side of science and rockets specifically is they like to have it be a night on a nice date where they can film it and have it and say, hey, tune in to this rocket launch at this time. And watch a bunch of people, fly up in the air, but they have to pass all those safety checks and regulations, and usually they don't. Usually rockets, if
yeah.
one thing is wrong, they're like, scrap it. We don't want billions of dollars to blow up and possibly kill people. Um, but TV says otherwise. And that's
Mhm.
that's how tragedy happens, and it's how tragedy happened here in a movie. A lot of I don't know. This was I thought cool to like the whole I said at first that I didn't like the twist that it was the professor and the businessman. It wasn't him all along. But I guess they both kind of were still in it together the whole time. Like it's not like business dude is off scot free because he's not the one behind the mask. Um,
No. Well, and that's the other thing is that, like, Kavanaugh going to these lengths creates an interesting parallel between him and Hero. Um,
mm,
where there's this loss that's at the cause of someone else, and they will do
ooh,
anything for revenge. And
yeah.
Kavanaugh never realizes that revenge isn't the answer, while Hero comes to that realization that doing harm unto the person who did you harm is not the
Mm-hmm.
answer. And
Man.
even so, one of the things that I'm not, like, incredibly keen on with this movie, again, relating to Kavanaugh, um, is that when all's said and done and he's getting loaded up in the cop car, he's, like, frowning, watching his daughter alive get strolled into an ambulance.
That
I'm
was a
like,
weird. Yeah, that was. I expected him to be like have a moment of realization,
at least it was
kind of
worth it
there.
type shit. Or
Yeah,
maybe he's realizing none of it was worth it. She was alive. I just needed to figure out how to get in there, maybe.
and
I don't know, like,
maybe it is just simply you see the bad guy get in the cop car. You like the audience sees the bad guy frowning, being mad that he's going to jail. The
mhm.
daughter alive and okay. We have a saying she's gonna be all right. Maybe it's more for the audience and not like maybe they just didn't think about him
Oh, yeah,
having a
and I mean,
moment
the
there,
other
but.
thing is that it is ultimately a movie for children, like,
Hmm.
you
Yeah.
don't wanna show the villain be like,
Yeah,
It
like
was all
getting
worth
in
it,
a
you
cop
know?
car. Yeah, like
Yeah,
maybe it does
yeah.
send the wrong message to kids.
No, it
That's
does. It
yeah.
but, like, from so it is weird
Ah,
evaluating it,
yes.
um,
Like daughter.
but, like, in a higher brow movie, that is the response that character has.
Mm-hmm.
He sees his daughter alive, which they do show. The daughter gets strolled
Yeah.
past the cop car, and he watches it, and then he, puts his head down and
It's
frowns
like,
and,
she
uh,
made it out of this. Dang it. Yeah.
"Okay, bud,
Um,
what'd you do it all for?" You know? But, like, that's the thing is that it is
Callaghan.
just that it's a
Okay.
movie for children,
Yeah.
and
But
they didn't wanna send the message that
I mean, that's
you
the
should
thing,
do
though, is
anything.
that he does have a few weird things about his story, just a little bit in the twist itself. I think they just kind of wanted a twist to throw in there. And this is just one that made sense with the character that was already in the movie.
Yeah,
But other than that, I mean, everything's written super
very well.
well. Like how Hero's just kind of going through it, like where he's not like even touching his food, like the plates are just kind of cycling through, and like he's just very much like he's in a slump. Dude is depressed. He lost his brother. That's the whole reason he was getting into the school in the first place. So I'm like, oh, you like this?
Mhm.
The movie started off great. Like the first act,
So
like
good.
getting you to care about every
I mean, it's
character.
all really good.
Um,
I'm nitpicking. I won't have
yeah,
another bad thing to
yeah,
say about the
yeah.
movie.
That's really
Um,
it. Like, and how like everyone around Hero cares about him so much. Like how everyone's just so nice and like just so I don't know. Like it feels so lovable, like the whole movie, like you just feel
mhm.
so comfortable, like Hero is never in like danger whenever like his family, yeah, I don't know, his like found family here, like this is like a team up movie, it kind of reminded me of Shazam a little bit,
Oh, yeah, yeah,
where
yeah, I
kind of
see that.
teaming up with all your friends, like what if I got superpowers as a kid, like look at me, look what I can do, and now, oh well, let's give all of you superpowers too, and and,
Yeah,
and all
yeah.
that. So I thought that's just really cool.
No,
Like
yeah, that is cool. I hadn't considered that connection.
yeah, like all the upgrade scenes, I loved. Like I put in, let's see, three different scenes, um, that like as I was watching, as like scenes that I really really liked, and the first one was his kind of microbot presentation, at the kind of expo event, and your imagination's your only limit, as he's just going around with I thought it was just
Going
really
through.
cool, and like how no one cared at first, and his brother being like, "You got this, just breathe," and then like, dude knew he was gonna have the whole audience, bro. I was wondering, I'm like, what are these recycling bins for? I'm like, what is homie working on? They showed this epic time lapse of something going on, but all it is recycling bins, and I'm like, what the fuck is this dude doing? I'm like, how is this supposed to impress the equivalent of like the MIT president of
Yeah.
MIT? I'm like, what is he doing? And then just strolls out with waves of nanobots, and I'm like, okay, yeah, this dude won. Like
Alright. Alright.
this dude's
Alright.
got it. Like I don't doubt. I'm not doubting Hero at all. I mean, dude's name is Hero. Like, come on, pretty on the nose there. Um, but no, I thought that was really cool. Like that first scene of his little, um present him to everybody, turning down the business guy at first,
Yeah.
turning him down and being like,
Well,
"No,
the
that's
hero's got that integrity built in, bro.
mhm.
Like, he knows what's right.
Yeah."
Um,
Um and I don't know
yeah,
the
I loved Hero. I loved Hero. He's a great little protagonist, man, and, see and I went with Ryan Potter as Hero in my, for my performance.
yeah. Yeah, I
Feels
think
like the guy. Feels like the
yeah.
kid.
Dude had to go through the most, emotional
Yeah.
range, I think, talk the most. And it's either, I mean, it's him and Baymax as far as like where the emotional weight comes from the movie, and Baymax, although I don't want to discredit the performance, but it is robotic, literally. You are performing.
Yeah,
um
the most impressive voice acting he does in this movie is when he's drunk as fuck. Um,
which was so funny, dude. Him strolling in the house, like it was so perfect. Like all the stereotypical drunk,
yeah,
like coming home trying to hide from anybody. Oh,
yeah.
dude. Oh, it was so good.
My
Like,
name is Baymax.
Yeah,
Your
funny.
personal health care provider.
Like it was funny, dude. Like a lot of like and that's what I think Pixar and Disney movies do a really good job at, is like finding that balance between kids will love this movie just for what's going on, but then there's also like really good stuff to keep like adults entertained like during this. Like you
Mhm.
like I'm a the first time seeing this and I'm 23 going on 24 and I'm like I'm loving every second of this. And I don't know. I guess I do have a pretty childish brain. Um but this I feel like is like actually just written well enough to where anybody is going to be intrigued by the story. Just it's one of those feel good classic stories. I don't know. It's just it tugs at the right heartstrings. Um, got me to just happy cry. Like I'd throw like I'd say 1.5 ugly cries,
Mhm.
throughout the movie.
Oh,
Um,
you liked, I'm assuming you've seen Meet the Robinsons, right?
Meet yes, okay. I have muddled um memories with this because I had the video game on GameCube and I think I played the video game more than I watched the movie. So like I
Ah.
so much
It's
of
like that
my
sci-fi it's another sci-fi kids movie.
oh yeah.
Guy who directed this wrote that,
Oh,
also
okay.
wrote and directed Moana, and wrote and directed Raya and the Last Dragon, so Don Hall's got some good stuff under his belt as far as this is concerned.
I see. Yeah, kind of
The other
in
guy co-wrote Bolt,
okay.
Chris Williams. A couple
Uh-huh.
of the ones we've mentioned, the ones we've been like, that reminds me of this, and that reminds me of this." Yeah, there's a reason,
I
it would
see.
appear.
I liked Meet the Robinsons. I mean, I liked it enough to play the hell out of that video game. It's another kind of misunderstood villain, if I remember correctly. Like it was kind of the villain of the movie, but it was because of something that happened in his childhood.
Mm,
I remember a scene of him as a young kid with like a baseball hat, looking all sad for some reason to Meet the Robinsons, and
yeah.
uh, but anyways, this Big Hero 6 is more up my alley, I think, than Meet the Robinsons.
Oh, yes,
I
yes,
I liked
I would agree.
this one. I just did not expect it out of this whatsoever. But no, I gave Hero the double nod. Ryan Potter for performance and character. Baymax was close. Uh,
I went Baymax, so he's
yeah,
getting his love.
I like that he is.
Baymax is just a lovable guy, man. I love that guy. I love him. He's such a sweetie. I think that, a hug from Baymax could cure every ailment I've ever experienced.
Smart move
Um,
making him like the inflate. Yeah, like if it was just his skeleton or his like cart, like just his on the insides would not be as effective. This is 100% the right move. Tadashi knew what he was doing. Man
Tadashi was
was on
close to
one,
my character as well. I
dude.
love Tadashi, man. I love Tadashi. That sequence during, at just, like, as an older
Oh,
brother, it's cool to watch, like, I love good older brother representation, not
mm-hmm.
the bully older brother, but
Yes,
the loving older brother.
yes. Come
Really
on,
nice.
let's go. It
Um
doesn't actually happen often. That
No, yeah, yeah, I mean, it
Tadashi.
exists to be sure,
Yeah.
but once you reach a certain age, that stops, there's a lot of examples in media where it doesn't stop, and I feel like they did a good job with Tadashi in that
Mm-hmm.
regard. Um,
Yeah.
but, it's, whenever Baymax is like, "Tadashi's here." Tadashi's here, and he plays the video for him. That's when he says my favorite line
Dude.
of the movie, and, like, it's just that montage of it failing, and he's like, "I'm not gonna give up on you," like,
Mhm.
we're gonna figure this out."
Mhm.
But as soon as Baymax officially works, um, he goes, "Oh, well, looks like my entire favorites section
Oh,
got cleared out for some reason."
just scroll down a little bit, I think.
No, like,
Is it
it's cleared out there too. Does it show up on
I
yours?
see it. Yeah, if
Huh.
it's I see all yours still.
Yeah, it only says Ryan Potter is hero on mine for my performance, so
Oh no.
that's okay, there it is, it's back. It's back! Okay,
Okay.
sorry, my app was fucking up. But it's that whole montage of him, working on Baymax and trying to get him to work. And then when he finally does, he excitedly goes, "Oh man, wait till my brother sees you." And like when that happened, I was just like,
Yeah. And then like Hero lets out like another tear, and I was like,
yeah,
"Oh
yeah,
man!" I'm like, "Dude, yeah, dude,
dude,
no, that it was. Oh my god, my line is probably Tadashi is here. I mean, because it was repeated a
yeah.
couple times. There were
It
many
says it
times he
early
says it,
on.
but
Tadashi is here.
the one where they're in the portal, they're in the other world and they're saying, like he is here. And I knew the only real thing I called, I'm like, he better have fucking put that green chip in his hand. Like he better have put that in there. And then I see him put it on the shelf and I saw it just sticking out a little bit and I'm like,
You're like,
oh man.
"Let's fucking
I
go."
was like,
And
fuck, man.
at that
Yeah.
point, you think you're done. You thought the last cry came. And then that happens, and you're like, "Fuck."
I saw I
Yeah,
saw it poking out just barely, and that got me to go. That already got
yeah,
me to like start crying, and
yeah.
I'm like, oh, dude, this movie's incredible. Um, yeah, like the only twist that I really didn't like was the whole businessman and professor thing, and I think it's just a little muddled for the motives. But other than that, I mean, everything was executed so well. Like
Oh no, as far
it
as
was
like
just
the side
perfect.
of the movie that gets you to care, they
Hmm.
knock that out of the
Yeah.
fucking park. Um, my favorite scene of the movie is the scene where Hero lets go a little bit, and
Yeah.
he becomes Kavanagh. He becomes the guy behind the
Hmm.
mask for a second. And he's like, "Destroy him." And Baymax is like, "That is not allowed by my protocols." And he's like, and they boop takes out the Tadashi chip, takes
Hmm.
out all the good in him, all the Tadashi in him, uh, and
Damn.
lets him fucking go. Um,
Damn.
dude, the score during that scene was
Mm.
fucking impressive. Like that was like I've seen this movie. I haven't watched it in a while. It's been a few years.
Mhm.
But like I was thinking to myself, like, if I was 5, I'd be fucking horrified
That's what
of this scene.
like, it was
Uh,
scary. Like, it took a turn. Like, it took a horrific turn. I'm like, "Oh
yeah,
my god, whoa." Like, yeah, like Baymax, huggable, little big teddy bear, Like, he couldn't hurt a fly. Butterflies were landing on his hands and shit. And then just goes to I mean, dude was oh my god, this dude was
nothing but karate mode on that side of things.
took yeah, the
Um,
Matrix. I mean, like he was Neo in the Matrix, just learning
yeah,
everything. On
but
just
it was just the combination of I mean, the music was really why I picked that scene. It was
hmm,
fucking incredible. It built the tension and the stakes like crazy. The visuals, I thought it was visually the most interestingly animated part of the movie. Um, Watching his like eyes come from like behind
yes,
fog and like all that stuff. It
yeah,
was pretty. Um, but then like the rest of the team kind of being like, no, like that is not how we do this. And then when the scene resolves and she's put the chip in his chest and he just kind of
yes.
like stops and then he goes, my healthcare protocol's been violated.
I'm
It's I
sorry.
was kind of like,
Yeah, he's like, I'm sorry for if I whatever I've done. He's like, I don't even know. Like, I don't
yeah,
really know what I've done. I
I
know
was
it
like,
was
oh,
probably not good.
the specific use of violated.
Mm,
Like, I had no choice. I had no say in the matter. He was like, "My healthcare protocol's been violated." Um,
yeah.
and just so fucking good, man. I loved that scene.
Mm,
Um,
ooh, yeah. No, and he went off too. Baymax, don't piss Baymax off. You want to be on
yeah,
Baymax's good side. I guess really more of Hero's good side. Before he learned this is how he learned the lesson though. This was his lesson moment. He was very very blinded by rage here. Learning new things and all of it's like, oh, it is you. What? I'm still mad and I'm still gonna kill you.
mhm.
Sort of thing. He was just in a moment, but no, that was nice. I don't know. Yeah, I can't decide. I don't know. I'm on my three scenes. The one I don't know. I might just go with the Microbot one. But man, the two upgrade scenes, like the first initial when Baymax is kind of upgraded, and it's kind of he gets like his first suit of armor, um, not even the red one, just
Yeah, the like
the
green.
greenish one. Yeah,
Yeah.
just that first one. Um, and I don't know. It's kind of like it's like his first kind of his spark is back, hero's spark is back,
Yeah.
and like it's everything's feeling good again. He's
Your
in motion.
neurotransmitter levels are elevated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that, so that was like it was just another really good feel good scene. But the next upgrade was probably much better when the whole crew got their, whenever he's like designing all of their
And
um
they test it all out. They're like, I love Go-Go. The
dude,
like razor thing. That's
that's
super fucking
sick.
cool.
Yeah.
Uh,
And like I've seen some of, like, I swear I've seen that somewhere. Um oh my god, you know what it is. It's robots. Um I
yes, it is.
the freaking the like what's her name? It was like uh the kind of like secretary girl to
Mhm.
big Big Well. That's what. Wow, I was getting there. But she kind of was skating around like that. It's kind of like
Yeah,
that
it
mixed
reminded
with
me
Tron, kind of
Tron.
at the
Yeah,
same time. Yeah,
yeah.
it's
I
like
was like, it's
both
Tron
at the
meets
same time.
robots, and
Mm-hmm.
it's wonderful.
I liked it.
Um,
Yeah, like very creative on the just the different character uses
I
here.
loved it.
Like the
I
little
loved
halo,
Yeah,
energy sword
yeah.
shield thing.
I loved
Um,
the like element balls.
yeah, just
That's an interesting
yeah,
power. It's an
whatever.
interesting.
Just
I love that.
she could just control, or did she know which one was doing what? I'm assuming
Well,
so.
yeah, she like I think she
Like,
like creates the concoction in the moment. That's like what she's typing. So
yeah,
like she knows what she needs and she just does it. And it's
pretty
cool. I
cool.
love it. I love that
Um,
energy.
yeah, and then oh, dude, talk about the the like Baymax's his new suit, 2.0 suit, but the magnets on the back that let Hero just
Dope.
lock in. When he locked in for the first time, I was like, oh, dude, I'm like that was pretty sick, and that's the
You know, the
beautiful.
flight scene was very close to being my scene. I
Mhm.
fucking loved that.
I think I'll go with the team getting their upgrades, the whole team, and like that second upgrade.
They
Um,
go for that test flight through the blimps and
yeah,
everything. Like
I
that was
called
so dope.
them the crew at first because I didn't know what they were called, but they are called Big Hero 6.
Mhm.
It's just what it waited on until the end,
Yeah.
which is interesting. Um, I don't know. I thought that was pretty neat.
Where's Big Hero 6 2?
Big Hero 6. Yeah, that would be an interesting title to come up with. Big Hero 6.
Again.
Yeah, and I think yeah, I don't think I think it is good to stop here. Like the origin, that is kind of the point of the movie. It would be cool to see them kind of just going around San
No, yeah, it
Fransokyo
would
though.
just be they would
Um,
have to come up with a whole new story that would have to be entirely relegated to a new emotional.
Toshido didn't die, and
Yeah,
I don't know. He was actually pulling the strings all along because he was jealous
yeah.
of his brother for having a cooler project than him to get into the
Him and
school.
Tadashi and Kavanagh were working together, and they were actually he's somehow stuck in that phantom zone. Uh, you know,
Was not ready for that, by the way,
yeah,
to
the
hop through the
interdimensional
portal
imagery.
and just it's all fractals and stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is where we're going. We're going in the quantum realm here. MCU equivalent, I guess. Is this the first? Shit.
Wait,
First MCU quantum realm, if I do
this
say so
multiversal shit
myself.
right here?
Um,
Do we go to a reality where Big Hero 6 exists one
San
day? Um,
Fransokyo. Imagine we
San
just that's what we
Fransokyo.
see. We see the Golden Gate Bridge, but it's San Fransokyo's. And then you just see Baymax, just
I'd
just
be dope.
flying with
I
hero
would
on the
I
back.
would actually be down.
Um
I would actually be down. Uh, no, yeah, my favorite shot came from the quantum realm, if you will. It's whenever Hero is standing, reaching for Baymax as Baymax is like reaching for him, and the realm is all behind them, all
oh,
twisty turvy, colorful. I
yeah.
loved it. I loved
Yeah. Yeah, that was I don't know. It very tough to not go with something there. I saw you did, and I was like very comfortable. I'm like okay, good, because it was as far as a singular frame, it was coming from there. But that garage time lapse of him actually making the nanobots, um, I thought was just really cool. That's the thing is that like in live action, I think the time lapse there makes more sense to think of. Like it's set a camera up, do a bunch of work, we'll speed it
it.
up.
Mhm.
That's not how it works in animation. They just still have to animate it all. I mean, I guess all the work has to be done in a time lapse, but you can skip a lot of it. Like you just walk over here, stand there for 5 minutes, walk over. Like you don't actually have to do
Yeah,
stuff in fast motion, but like they have to animate every single one of these frames still, which I think is funny.
yeah.
So like,
That is interesting. I hadn't considered
yeah,
that.
doing a time lapse in animation is like I don't know. It's not the first thought to have really, or I just thought it was, and just the execution of it. I thought it was really cool, and just I don't know. I thought it was a really cool moment for the movie. But it got me to in that moment. I was thinking of like, oh wow, no, this is like actually really like really cool animation here. And like a lot of the time, like the camera in air quotes, is set in like really cool, like it pans just like a real
Mhm.
camera would in some moments, and then others were flying with Baymax and Hero, and it's like wow, it's just the strengths of animation, like what you can do.
Yeah,
It's you can do whatever you want, like it is whatever you can imagine, and that's why I thought like the microbots was like a perfect um thing for him to come up with, that it's whatever he can imagine, is the limits of what they can do, and everything like that. I thought that it was gonna go down the path of like, oh, he just created them because he's a kid and he did, whatever. But then adults have these nanobots now, and look what they're doing. The world is like, they're using them for
mhm.
the wrong reasons. But did not go there. Did not go that route. I think I liked the route. It went a
I
lot
think I do.
simpler, a lot simpler, and a lot cleaner for the story. Um, but but yeah.
Yeah, no. The only thing that and this isn't even a gripe with the movie because it looks good in the movie. It's more of a Disney animation as a whole. I don't like that there's a blanket style.
Mm,
Like
okay,
this is animated in the same style Moana is, which is animated in the same style as
I
like their
see.
newest movie, Strange New
All
World,
their
and
people look
uh,
this. The everyone
all their
they have
people
the
look the
look,
same.
the Disney
Yeah,
slash Pixar
and
look.
I
Yeah,
think that's like even Pixar kinda takes bigger swings in terms of animation style than Disney animation does, cause I mean, like, look at Soul, that's a little different,
true.
I mean, but even then, you're looking at, like, Inside Out and it's more modern stuff, because The Little Mermaid is Disney animated, and that doesn't look like this. Cinderella is Disney animated, and that doesn't look like this, like, when
Mm-hmm.
you
Yeah,
dig into
very
the
different
older
styles. Yeah,
it's the modern computer generated animation that they've developed a sameness in their style that I think is kind of impairing their ability to do awesome shit. Like, say what you will about their newest movie, Wish, um, but that, like, storybook animation style, that's new.
hmm.
I dig that,
Yeah, I haven't
you
even.
know?
Oh, okay.
I didn't end up getting to see it. I mean, like, the people still look the same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah,
It's just the
that's
texture. The texture is a little different, which I can appreciate. I wish they would take an even bigger swing and change the way the people look. I understand that, like, again, Disney's a business and they want brand recognition, and the way they've done that is that
Mm-hmm.
even their
Yeah.
animated movies all have a sameness to them. Um, but I
Hmm.
feel like that's just trapping artists into a lane, you know?
Yeah.
I think that
Because that
'cause they've
realm
done a
looked
good job
cool.
of
That's probably the
yeah,
time where they were allowed to do whatever they wanted.
and
And
they
look
do
how cool
stuff
that
like
was a
that
style. That did
instead.
have a style to it. Like that
Yeah,
was
and they do stuff like that instead. They do stuff with environments, not with
mm,
characters, you know, like
San Fransokyo. Yeah,
San
go have
Fransokyo
fun with
and,
it. Yeah.
in
Mm,
that movie from last year, Strange New World, it's a multiverse basically of all these different types of terrain and everything, and it looks bizarre, it looks cool, like, but the
mm,
characters all look the same, you know? So that's just kind of and again, I think it works for every singular movie. It's not like any one of those movies looks bad. They all look good. They're
mm-hmm,
well animated. It's just I would like if they opened up their vibes a little bit, if they tried to expand that taste a little bit. I think that
mm-hmm.
they could benefit a lot from that.
I'm gonna close my blinds just real quick.
Yeah, they're
The sun has now just gotten into a position where
yeah,
it's a
or it's
little
scorching your shit.
unfortunate.
I love
Yeah,
it.
let
I
me
love
just.
it. No, you're all good. um, but nah, man,
Ah,
I think that yeah, there you
okay.
go.
There we go.
There you go.
Um,
I
but
love it. I love
no,
it.
another a sad realization that I had. I think the like villain's mask and his outfit. It
Fortnite
looks very yeah. It like and I didn't think it would ever happen, but I knew of something first because of Fortnite.
because of Fortnite.
And I've become that kid now. This is the guy from Fortnite, and I did not want to have that moment in my life where I said, "Is that the guy from Fortnite?" But I had it, and it was this movie, and now I don't know what to think, and I don't know what to do with
Well, and
myself.
it's specifically interesting because kabuki masks, there's all sorts of kabuki masks. Like, that's not the only that's not like that style makes it a
Yeah,
kabuki
and in
mask,
Fortnite, this dude was
but
like,
that style is specifically the one that's in Fortnite.
yeah, and so now so now that happened to me, and I had a Fortnite moment, and now I don't know if I'll ever touch the game again. I
Like,
think
I don't know if I love the way it feels.
I didn't I don't like that, but I mean this movie. I mean, no, I don't know. I should have seen this movie such a long time ago. Anyways, I don't know. That's the one I just cannot believe. I cannot believe it. Like Wally, I thought this is like up there with Wally for me. Like
Mm.
this is freaking incredible as far as I mean this project goes. It did very very well, and
Yeah, where'd it land? Let's spoil
um
it. Let's get there.
I got honest with myself. My top 10 sort of moved around. The top 5 not really. This landed at 8 for me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it is only below Iron Man, Man of Steel, Iron Man 3, Superman, Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man, and The Dark Knight. For me. Yeah, I know. I really really dig this. The X-Men got a bump, by the way. That is the two
Love
that
to
are
hear
right
that.
below it is First Class and X2. For me, I put it above them. It felt like that found family aspect that I love so much of the X-Men movies. I had that there, not as good. The found family I think is definitely better in X-Men, but it kind of had that still there. But
Well, it has the spirit there, yeah.
yeah, the story here I just kind of liked more and is more up my alley. So I put it above the X-Men's, but I couldn't quite go above Iron. That's the only one where it could go. It could go above Iron Man 1, which is crazy that I could even be thinking about putting this above Iron Man 1 right now for me. Um,
No, I'm interested. I'm interested in that choice because I've got it at 6. I've got it at higher than that.
okay.
I've only got it below my top 5, which consists of Superman 78, The Dark Knight, um, Captain America, The First Avenger, The Amazing Spider-Man, and Mask of Phantasm. So it's only below
Okay.
those, but it is right above Iron Man 3, Man of Steel, X-Men First Class, and Spider-Man to round out my top 10.
Yeah.
Um,
As far as the movie goes in itself in its own right, probably I do put it above Man of Steel and Iron Man, but I don't. I've just had too long of a history with those movies. Like
Right.
those, like in I do very well see it going. I don't know if it beats Iron Man 3. Iron Man 3 kind of just is like everything I love in Iron Man in one movie, and like the arc's amazing and a good movie. So that one's gonna maybe be tough to beat, but I see it like
Definitely
6.
the it's
Yeah.
definitely my 6, 7 between those 2.
Mhm.
That's the team up right there. It could
Yeah.
go either way in terms of which I prefer, but
I plopped it. Like I think it plopped at
Mhm.
6 or 7, and then I'm like, okay, I am fresh. Like let me think. Like let me just sit down and make sure, and go movie by movie. And yeah, top 5. It couldn't really get in any of those. But Man of Steel and Iron Man were the first ones where I'm like, okay, it could actually feasibly be above these movies, which would be 6. So it's either as high as 6, but right now at number 8.
yeah, I put it at its peak. It can't go any higher than 6 for me as it stands. I could see it I do think no matter how you spin it, for me, it's above Man of Steel, though. So,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Okay.
it's either 6 or 7 as it stands between that and Iron Man 3 for me. Um,
Okay.
and that's
Yeah.
just kinda how it is. It's just kinda how it is for
I
me.
don't. I
Um,
think we do have 2 animated movies, um, Mask of Phantasm and this, right? We don't have any others. That those are the
that's
only 2. Man, I thought Mask of Phantasm would remain the best animated movie, but I don't know. Like I think the like status of it, like the Kevin Conroy and Heath Ledger, like
Mhm.
my childhood, like a lot of things, like it puts it there. But this is, I think, just kind
Market.
of it doesn't have the legendary kind of actor behind it angle that comes from
Mhm.
Phantasm. But it's every bit as good. Like written as good, performed as good. Like this gets me to cry way more
Yeah.
than Mask of Phantasm does. That's a completely different kind of feeling that I'm having over there. But I think like I put it above Mask of Phantasm. That it kind of
I've got
it.
it I've got it a spot below Phantasm. I've got it at
Hmm.
Phantasm at
Yeah.
5, this at 6, so
Okay.
it's right there for me. This Phantasm won't remain our highest animated movie.
That's true. Once we get to Spider Verse, it's kind of wraps,
It's
huh?
over. It's over.
Yeah, it is. It's already yeah, it's over. Already. And maybe by the time we get
Throw that
there, actually, no. I hope by the time we get there, the last movie isn't out yet. Actually, I hope they are still
Yeah,
working on it.
yeah.
So never mind. I was about to say maybe we have a new one in the running, but hopefully, actually not made by the time we get there.
I sure
Um,
hope not. The fact that they ever planned to do that is fucking insane. The fact that they had it in their heads that that movie was gonna release 2 months from now?
yeah, a
Are you
shorter
sick
amount of time
are
to
you
work.
sick in the
Yeah,
head?
like it
What
would.
is wrong with
They
you?
rushed the second movie. They scrambled to finish that one in time, and they still didn't. They put out like a version of it after the movie was out, and they were like, "Oh, this is now it's complete." And it's like, "Well, hold on a minute. Like, what's going on there?" Yeah, and then they're
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, new one in a year." Oh, well, sure. Elon Musk, type prediction of time, timeline. Like, sure, yeah, we'll get the Cybertruck out by 2020. You'll get them delivered. That's kind of it's same ballpark there. It's just not possible. Um, yeah, but oh no, I guess that's a Spider Verse gripe. Nothing to do with Big Hero 6. Um, Yeah, animation. That's all that tied
Oh,
it together
connection.
there.
Connection there.
Animation. Yeah. But man, are the animated movies that have popped up? Man, are they good? God damn it!
They
Every
are.
animated movie that we've watched are incorrect. Like,
We talk for this podcast. They turn out well. They do. I mean,
yeah.
shit. This is puts us at what, 54 movies that we've discussed for the project? Yeah, 54
Um.
movies, and it landed top 8 for both of us.
Yeah. probably 6. It probably actually is 6.
Could
Like,
could be top 6 for both
yeah.
of us.
Now that you said like it's not above Man of Steel, I kind of am looking how I have Man of Steel above Iron Man 1, and that's kind of nuts for me.
Yeah.
And I think that should
That's
go the
how
other way around. Um, and then doing that, it kind of makes Big Hero 6 go easily above Man of Steel. Um,
right.
and then so now it's just if it beats Iron. So yeah, I don't know. It's kind of fluctuating from 8 to 6 to 7 to wherever right now.
No, I get that. I do.
Um,
I do.
but man, no, a very very nice surprise, um, for this one. I was very very pleasantly surprised and glad that I finally got here. It took me long enough. It took me long enough in my life to get here, but I did. Better late than
We're here.
never.
We're
Um,
here.
but yeah, I don't. I meant. Yeah, I don't
Doth
think. I
it
don't know.
doth it be time for a rating for this bad boy?
I think so. Yeah, a quick. I don't know. I feel like it doesn't require that much conversation. It is at the end of
No,
the
it's a
day.
simple film.
Yeah,
Good. I think we kind
but
of touched
great.
on all the main points we needed to, and
Hmm.
I think it's just that.
I think we are there. Let's see. Okay, enjoyment wise, I mean, if it is up there, um,
We're talking a floor 9.
yeah, and that's Iron Man, Mask of Phantasm. We gave Man of Steel was a 9.25, First Avenger 9.25, First Class 9.25. Um, I think it joins them.
Mhm.
I think it joins that company. Iron
I think
Man,
it does too.
the 9.5s, Superman and Iron Man 3. Um, Iron Man 3, I do get some nostalgia cries in there, some good. I think I'm still crying more in Baymax, but Superman, the OG, that's a little bit,
I think
bit harder to go up to
yeah, I think
9.5.
925 was a good company for it to join given where we have it collectively.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny talking about these ratings post my, like, personal re-rating of them on in private.
I was about to do
Uh,
that. Whenever and then I realized like let me first get my order actually down. Let me get
mhm.
my letterbox list where I actually want it before I
Yeah.
assigned any numbers. And now it is good. Um, but okay, I like the 9.25 there though. Um, for enjoyment. And then maybe after we do have that done, we can
Kinda meet in the middle a little bit more accurately.
find a new scale.
Yeah, yeah.
As of right now, at least where the movies are in relation with each other
Yes,
is
yes.
correct. But okay, and then critically here, um, I mean, I think the closest comparison, it's probably fair to go back to the last animated movie we had, Mask of Phantasm. We gave that an 8.25. Um,
Okay, I'm glad to hear that. I'm not I'm not much higher on it. I think in terms of, like, like, the villain plot point, I have
mm-hmm,
more gripes about that than I do anything in Mask of Phantasm.
mm-hmm.
I think that,
So, what
and
gripe
frankly,
did we
a
have
similar
about Mask of Phantasm? Like,
um,
it's
I can't
short. It's
recall.
not long at all. It's so
It's not
digestible.
long enough.
The
Yeah.
story is actually written well. It's
It
performed
might be
by
better
two
than
of
an
the fucking
825 if we're being
greatest
correct.
voice actors in the game. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
I mean
If
maybe
anything, it was probably a similar gripe about the villain and the lack of but even that, they sprinkle those things in that indicate that she is actually the Phantasm prior to it revealing that she's the Phantasm, which makes that a
the
little
twist
better
over
in terms
there.
of
Yeah,
writing.
it works
I will
better
also
in
add, I
Phantasm.
like I like Mask of Phantasm's animation style more. I've always just the Batman animated stuff from that
Mm-hmm.
era, great style that,
Yeah.
um, uh, fucking gorgeous. I love that stuff.
Shit, I think I don't know if I don't know if I could elevate it beyond. I think like it might just be the same
Might be the same, if
kind
not
of
an 8.
like it where like it's I'm not trying to say Phantasm's story is not well written. It is. I think that this uh that Big Hero 6 though, I just like the story of it more. It's a different feeling story.
Mhm.
And this one I think it's more universal, this movie.
That's fair, that's
It's
fair.
very universal, but not.
I'm cool throwing
Yeah,
it at the same level.
it's not
I'm cool throwing
worse.
it at
It's
the
not
same level.
really better. I think it is just kind of different styles, but they accomplish different things. Like I'm crying over
Yeah,
here, but I'm in kind of awe in
over there.
Phantasm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean that puts on the same level as Spider-Man 1, 2002, and The Watchmen, at an 8.25. So um, I think very different movies. All those. But 8.25 there would make it overall an 8.58. So an 86%. Which places it 8.58. It ties it with the Amazing Spider-Man overall, which is tied for fifth, above Mask of Phantasm overall,
Okay.
right above. So it did barely edge it out. It did beat it overall on the animation battle. Right now, we do have Big Hero 6 and then Mask of Phantasm. But
Okay. Okay.
I think I do like how that shaked out.
I do
8.25
too. I do
there.
too.
Okay, there we are. Big Hero 6, a little out of order calendar wise, but we're there. We're in the
We're there.
same
We're
year,
there.
we're in the same ballpark. Um, but okay, there we are. An 86% overall. Joins the fuck yes tier. One
Love the
of
fuck yes here.
we have 6 movies in the fuck yes tier. Only a singular one in the yo what the fuck tier, as we named it. But
I have a feeling that will be maybe penetrated by 2 other movies. Maybe. Um,
I'd say Spider-Verse has a very, very good shot. Logan has a good shot. Guardians, maybe. Guardians
uh,
enjoyment, easily. Critically
yeah,
is where it's going to have
we'll
to
see.
be
We'll
weighed down
see.
there. But,
The Batman was the other
oh,
one I was thinking.
hello. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, when I
Yeah.
said 2, I meant Spider-Verse and the Batman.
Okay.
Yeah,
Logan?
no.
Logan's
Logan will be an interesting revisit.
critically, I think it's up there. Maybe the enjoyment's not at a 10. Um, and maybe even the critically is not at a 10. I don't know.
No,
Maybe
yeah,
I'm
it'll
just
be an interesting
remembering
revisit. I haven't
differently.
watched
But
it in a while, and I remember it very fondly, but I just haven't seen it in a while, so it'll be a nice one to revisit whenever we get there here, and shit, that's probably not very far away now. Couple months.
let's see. Big Hero 6. We are at. Logan is March 3rd right now. There's no Bad Batch in there though. So a little probably
Mm,
April. Definitely April. Sometime in April when we'll get to Logan.
March 3rd. It's that close?
April 3rd. Sorry. March was at the
Okay,
top, but that is the bottom
okay,
of the page. Joseph, hello.
gotcha.
That's the next month.
Okay. I
Yes.
was like, "No fucking
Yeah, we're
shot, dude."
speeding
Okay,
up,
that makes a
by
little
the
more sense.
way. I forgot to tell you we're doing a comic book movie every day for February. Uh, no,
Oh, yeah.
that'd be a whole lot. Um, but
It'd be a really good way to blitz this project, I'll tell you that.
that's true.
We
Um,
wanted to get her done 25 or 20 comic book movies in the month of February. We could really put a dent in this bad boy. I mean, we went 5 for 5 last year,
February
in
was our
terms
month last year.
that was
We
the month
did
we did
do
that,
every day in February. Well, I think maybe one day we missed, maybe.
except for
Um,
weekends. We did
yeah,
every weekday,
yeah.
in February
I
last
guess
year.
it is
Um,
not. It's not impossible.
it's
Um,
an achievable feat for us, as we've proven. Um, but yeah, with Big Hero 6 there, what did it end up rounding out to in total?
8.58.
All right, 86%. And 86%. I think that's fair. It's a good fucking movie and it's lovable as all hell. I mean, that's an Academy Award winner right there. Can't say that for a lot of the movies on our list here. Um,
Mm-mm.
but yeah, with that, we will conclude this episode of the Penny Bloom podcast. If you will, head to patreon.com/Penny Bloom Pod, where you'll find over 50 hours of exclusive content, all sorts of book reviews, comic book reviews, movie reviews, and the like. For $3 a month, you can support this podcast financially, which is huge because it costs me money and I don't make any off of it unless it's over there. As we inch nearer and nearer to the Oscars, we are going to be doing our own Penny Bloom Film Awards for the year 2023. Going to each give our top 10 of the year, and we're going to give out Best Picture, Actor, Actress, Supporting nods, and all that stuff. And we're going to declare winners. You can get a little, not spoiler, but just personal feelings about the Oscar nominations as they stand versus where I would come down for certain categories. I wrote a whole thing over there, and you can get access to that for $1.50. $1.50 a month will get you all the written content, and that's a lot of fun to work on. So all that over there for that, and if you support this podcast financially, it's huge because it costs me money, and I don't make any off of it unless it's over there. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you. Go ahead and throw us a like and subscribe. You're cool. I appreciate you. If you're not watching on YouTube, that's just not your thing. That's cool. But if it is your thing, we're on YouTube. Go to Penny Bloom Podcast and go ahead, subscribe, throw us a like, and watch our podcasts every week now. It's a lot of fucking fun to do the video. It's been a great deal of fun, and that's been even more fun to turn them into TikToks. If you go to TikTok and follow at Penny Bloom Podcast, I'm trying to post something every day, and so far I've succeeded since we started doing it. And it's been a great deal of fun. Love doing that. I need to build up the backlog a little bit more again, letting the drafts dwindle down. I need to build them back up. So I'm excited. But yeah, that's a lot of fun over there. You can head to Twitter, follow at Penny Bloom Pod, follow on Instagram at Penny Bloom Podcast. Follow on Letterboxd at Penny Bloom Pod, and remember to leave a 5-star rate and review and to continue downloading wherever you might be listening. We'll be joined on Friday by Michael Muehlberger to discuss Captain America: The Winter Soldier, and I'm so very excited about that. And we will be continuing Winter is Blooming, our Game of Thrones rewatch podcast next week with Season 7, Episode 4? 5. Season 4, Season 7, Episode 5. That'll be next week, and I'm so very excited about that. But yeah, keep on coming back, man. We appreciate you. But yeah, I was Colton Robertson. I was joined by Joseph George. Thank you very much, homie.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it is always a pleasure to have you. And remember, peace, love, and bloom. And Tadashi is here.